Fitz.
Yo,
What's up, man?
how we doing?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Joe Vore Podcast, Way She Goes Podcast Network. We are here with very special guests, catching up with an old friend, an old teammate, someone I shared a locker room with, classroom with, all of that good stuff from sunny Lexington, Ohio. Now, both in the warm states, me in Arizona, him in South Florida. Logan, Pfizenmayer, great to have you here, sir. Great to catch up.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. I think it'll be, I've seen you. I'm still not like, I know you're getting, working to become this media conglomerate, and it's honestly not surprising whatsoever. But yeah, man, I've just seen you from afar doing your thing, probably kind of the same thing. So yeah, I'm excited to chop it up, shoot the shit, have some fun. I love the backdrop you got going on there.
Yeah, we're gonna dial it in, man. We don't run a professional operation over here. We just try to appear that we do.
I love that. Transparent, honest, to the point. I try to show an unprofessional operation, and then just come with the sauce.
I like that.
It's like always. It's like an art of war thing. Always feign your power level.
Yeah. So I'm all smoke and mirrors, and you're over there like under promise, over deliver.
Yeah,
I like it. So how have you been, man? I was trying to think. I don't even remember the last time that I've even seen you in person.
Yeah, I can't remember either. It's been forever, man. Wow. It's crazy. Time flies.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like probably like the year after I graduated high school. I'm assuming sometime like that winter.
Maybe sometime at like a grad party in the summer before you went to school or something like that.
Yeah, man. It's been, what is it now? 3, 4 or 5 years. That's insane.
Yeah. It's so crazy. You go, like, just to give everyone some background, we play football together, and we see each other every day for however many months through the summer.
How many years, really?
Yeah. I mean, at least in that point, you could count on pretty much from like May, June through the end of October, pretty much every day. And then for however many years, and then boom, it's like 5 years. It's like, when was the last time I've seen this person? It's crazy.
Yeah, unbelievable, man. But yeah, I've been really, really good. How about you?
Doing well, man. Can't complain. I mean, you know how it is. You're a fellow warm state person.
Appreciator, respecter.
Yeah. Respecter after what we've gone through in those winters for many years in Ohio. So, dude, you can't complain when the days look like they do.
Mm-hmm. Where are you? What state are you? Are you in Arizona?
Yep, still Arizona. Yep.
Love it. Because I saw you. It's hard to keep up with you. It seems like you're back and forth, and I saw for a while. I feel like you were in Miami too.
Yeah, I had like a little gig down there. I was doing some interviews, like press junket interviews for movies. So I was down in Miami for like 4 or 5 days, went and saw a couple movies, and did some interviews with the actors and directors and stuff. So that was really cool. I love coming down to Miami, but I don't think I've ever been there without it being like a work trip. Or I was in Fort Lauderdale for a wedding and went down to Miami for a night with my mom for dinner. But I've been dying to come back to Miami for strictly pleasure, because I love it down there.
Well, when you're here, brother, let me know. We'll get together and whoop it up, have a good time.
Oh yeah, where are you at exactly in Florida?
I live in Brickell in Miami.
Oh yeah, I stayed at the oh God, I mean, it's right close to that whole Brickell shopping center. I forget what the hotel.
East, maybe.
It was, oh God. Oh, I can't even remember what the name of the hotel was. It was a really nice hotel right there on the water. I mean, I walked down to that Brickell shopping center every day, like when I had downtime.
I'm trying to think, because the East is the one like over top of the Brickell City Center.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what other hotel. Who knows? Doesn't matter.
So I guess let's just start with this. I kind of wrote down a bunch of things, kind of like a timeline that I've seen of yours from afar. And then, so I'm going to run through that, and then let's circle back to the beginning of it and fill in like all the details. That work?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. So like I said, Logan is a year younger than me in school. I graduated in 16. He graduates in 17. We play football together. After Logan graduates, after you graduate, you go to Valpo. You're playing football at Valparaiso. You transfer. Now, how long? Okay, I guess we'll get that at the end. So you're at Valpo for a certain amount of time. You transfer to Denison. You're there. And then before you graduate, you drop out of school. Now you're in Florida, living it up. So kind of living it up as much as you can be. So let's go back to there. You graduate, you go to Valpo, you're playing football there. What was that experience like? You know, what didn't work? Kind of what sparked you to decide, okay, this is where I started, but I'm moving on to Denison.
Yeah. So, and I think you can probably relate to this in a lot of ways because we have, I think, pretty similar backgrounds. But like, you know, I think that when you're young and you're in high school and all these different, especially like Lexington, you know, and we're both smart kids, very athletic, like very well liked, that whole kind of deal. There's a certain kind of pressure that comes with it in terms of like, when you have that sort of good base, you know, you're expected to go on and be successful and do these things.
And it all happens like right away and it all kind of works out. Yeah.
Yeah. And you need to know what you're doing and where you're pushing towards and like all these different things. And I think that I realized I did those things and it's almost like out of an ego that's not even yours. Kind of, it's you just kind of conform to the societal role that everyone has kind of expected of you your whole life. And there's benefits with that. It's come with benefits, you know, well liked and have a good life and friends and all these things. And so I think I just kind of fell in line with that, you know, like just, I didn't really know that that's what I wanted to do. I hadn't really figured out what my own path was. I just, you know, I probably went to Valpo because I wanted to be a D1 football player. And and
that's probably just what you kind of felt like you were supposed to do rather than maybe what you wanted to do. But also, like you said, you're like, I also don't exactly what I wanted. Like, I don't know exactly what I wanted to do at that time when you're, you know, 17 going to, you know, turning 18, whenever you made that decision.
Yeah, 100%. I think I made that decision like a few weeks after my 18th birthday, which is crazy how people expect 18-year-old kids to just know, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And at least for me, I hadn't done any of that, like really internal work to figure that out. And so it was just like, boom, I'm going to go. I want to play Division I football because that's what, and I love football, obviously, but you know, that's what rubbed my ego the right way and made me feel like I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And so I go there and I realized, like, I mean, if you're going to put in all that, I just realized, like, if you're going to put in all that time, there better be a massive trade-off with it. And like, I was a good athlete, whatever, but like, maybe if I worked my ass off, I'd be a fringe practice squad guy in the league, you know, like maybe if I really put it all into that, have like this out. I'm not, you know, I'm not like Usain Bolt or one of these guys. It's like destined for NFL superstar. It's a good athlete, not a great athlete. And so I realized that, and I just kind of weighed that against the demands of being a Division I college football player.
Right.
And also at that point, I was a biomedical engineering student. Yeah. And like we traveled a bunch. The conference we were in, it's the most geographically diverse conference in football.
Were you out in Missoula playing Montana at one point?
That was my first college game at Montana. And it was nuts, dude.
And that's a powerhouse FCS. It's like them and North Dakota State are like the two, like it's them every year. It's like Bama and Ohio State or Bama and Clemson. Those are like the FCS schools that just rule.
Yeah, that was my opener in college, just flying there. And it was right after when they had all these fires. So there was like a smog cloud over everything. So, dude, it was like 1:15 on the field when we're playing because all the heat was trapped in and there's 50,000 Montana hillbillies just going nuts. It was crazy. But so like, I just realized how much work it really was at that level. And not that, again, I didn't mind the work, but it's just like, what is the payoff? I didn't feel like the payoff was really, really at it. It's not like I'm a superstar celebrity. And that's when I realized, like, I loved the sport of football, but maybe not as much. I think I more so loved what it did for me, kind of,
Okay. Yeah.
There was a piece of that where I really realized, like, man, maybe I just really like kind of like being the guy, or, being an athlete and well-known, all these different things. And so that combined with, film, lifting, whatever, getting on planes to fly to our games, and then also having all of this crazy ass physics homework.
Yeah.
Calc 3. It was just too much, man. And I was just like burnt out. I wasn't really enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not what I wanted to do. So then my next thought was like, okay, I'm really not that happy. And as you know, we have some mutual friends that were at Denison, and I was kind of talking with them because they were in the same position as me in terms of finishing up that first semester season of football, whatever. And they're like having a great time, loving it, having a bunch of fun. And I'm like, damn, like, maybe I'm doing this wrong. So I was like, okay, we'll give it another shot there. Go there. And I had much more fun. I quit doing engineering and playing football, though it would have been much more manageable there. Like football was just so much less of a crazy time demand and energy demand.
Right.
But I switched over to like a pre-med track.
Okay.
Like basically physical therapy / pre-med, that sort of track. And I'm playing ball and I'm having fun. But then it's like, I just started to kind of feel the same, like similar. I realized it wasn't actually like what school I was at. I think it was just kind of, and like I said, I had a great time there. Like, and I loved like the college experience, being around my friends, being around girls, like just doing that whole thing, being social. But I just felt unaligned with it. I felt stagnant and I felt unaligned.
Yeah.
I could give two fucks about what they're teaching me in school, because it's just like, okay, maybe I do great and then I go work for somebody and make $100,000 a year, and like it just didn't care.
Yeah.
And I hated that. Like, I was skipping class constantly, which I did that throughout high school too, pretty much my whole life, really. And I mean, I was pretty objectively smart throughout my whole life.
Yeah, you always got good grades. If I remember right, I mean, really high, the standardized test scores, the tests you got to take to get into school. Like you definitely checked and exceeded all of those boxes.
Yeah. And it just like, I was like, man, like, I felt like even the college atmosphere there, like I could put the time in to like master that, but all the whole spectrum of it, I felt like I was playing a game that I didn't even want to play. You know what I mean? Like a game that doesn't even matter if I win. And I think that lack of congruency really just like, it kind of ate at me. And then I kind of got hurt. I had had really bad tendonitis. Health issues. And then I just kind of really, during that, I really wasn't going to class once I got hurt and like wasn't playing. And so then I started like smoking a little bit too much pot, probably. Yeah. But I just really kind of like all these things piled up, and I really had an awareness shift. Like I started cultivating everything I was looking at online and exploring different, like just kind of seeking knowledge. Yeah. And I remember it was like 2 weeks before finals. I was reading, or I was just like scrolling Instagram. And at that point I had really curated all of my social media. And I saw like this post from one of and I'm a little bit stoned. It's probably like 1 a.m. I'm supposed to be writing this paper. Yeah. And I'm not getting anything done. After I'd tried, I like locked myself in the library. I even took Vyvanse for the first time, locked myself in the library, get nothing done. I just didn't care at all. And I see this post one night, like 1 a.m., like I said, a little bit off my ends. And it's like one of these ecom kids. It's like an 18-year-old kid. He's like, I took this plane. Now I make $60,000 a month. And I'm like, yo, like there's 0% shot that this kid is smarter than me, like 0% chance. Yeah. Unequivocally. And I was just like, damn, like, but he's making money. and doing whatever he wants to, you know, is free relatively. And so I just like got into a rabbit hole, started like researching things. You know, I had the classic, should I drop out of college, Google, and read some stuff. And I was at that point, I was just like, you know what, like I can figure something out. And I just like really kind of decided that night, like, screw this. I'm going to drop out and figure it out.
Yeah.
Like there's ways to make money. There's ways to do all the things I want.
And how many semesters into school were you at this point?
This was like a week before my third semester ended.
Okay. So this would have been, okay.
Halfway
so
through my sophomore year.
Yeah. Got it.
Yep. Right before Christmas of my sophomore year of college.
Right.
And so, yeah, man, like my family was always very big on education and all this kind of stuff. And so they really were like not happy with this.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, if you're leaving school, you know, they kind of played a little bit of hardball with me. You know, you got to figure it out on your own. You're not going to come live at home. You're not going to do this. And I was like, all right, sweet.
Yeah.
At this point, I think I had like $1,800 in my bank account.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, dope. So I literally packed my bags, got a room in Columbus, and was going to wake up and buy a flight the next morning to somewhere in Florida and just like figure it out. I was like, really, it was like almost like a breaking point kind of.
Why Florida? Just because it was warm, you just wanted to be there? Yeah.
Warm and sunny. I didn't want to be inside when it's gray all the time.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I just felt like I would be much happier in the sun. Yeah. And now it's so funny because that's evolved into like a huge piece of my personal brand is like the sun worshiper, right-wing bodybuilder whole shtick thing. Like I don't even know. It's just funny.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I did that. And they kind of, once they realized I was really serious like that, my family kind of, you know, were like, okay, relax. It's a week before Christmas. Just come home, come to family Christmas. And then at that point I worked at Snow Trails, for anyone listening, ski resort in Joe and I's hometown.
Yep.
Ski resort, right?
Yeah.
But I just worked there for like a month. The stuff I would already be doing had I been on break from college,
right?
Saved up some more money, and at that point just packed everything in my Honda Accord and went to Clearwater, Florida. And the reason I knew I wanted to go to Florida.
Yep.
It was warm and sunny all year round. And then I picked Clearwater because as I always had sort of the affinity towards the weight room and lifting and performance and all that stuff. I had always been kind of a nerd for it.
For sure.
And so that was something that when I decided I was going to drop out, that I knew I wanted to pursue. And I also had been hurt in college with tendonitis in my knee really, really bad. And so I found, he's now blown up tremendously. But I found Knees Over Toes guy when he had, 3,000 followers.
Did Rogan have him on, or he was talking about him or something? I saw like a YouTube clip. I didn't watch it, but I was like, oh, I've seen this guy.
Yeah, he was just on Rogan, but he's like now approaching 1 million followers on IG. Like, he's really blown up, and he deserves it 100%. But so I found him back when he had like 3,000 followers, just because I was like a nerd about, I'd already been following all these pages anyway.
Yeah.
And I knew that's something I wanted to pursue. So I literally I picked Clearwater over anywhere else just because of that. There was a gym that I wanted to work out at.
Yeah.
And so I moved there, signed up at the gym. I dived into sort of this online entrepreneurship space. Simultaneously, I'm working like odd jobs at this point.
Yeah. But like the online stuff, like what were you just trying to build like a following with this whole like persona fitness thing, or what were you kind of looking at doing specifically? I understand, you have odd jobs, you have stuff during the day, to pay the bills so you can kind of build this stuff up. But what were you sort of looking into specifically, like for yourself to hopefully, generate some revenue so that you can stop doing this, day jobs and things like that?
So my whole thing, like when I was sitting in college thinking about what I'd rather do, there was like three things that were always like top of mind. Well, one, I had a bunch of my, like Corey and I would always sit down, one of our mutual friends, we would always sit down and like crazy, like listen to music and talk about like production and just kind of all that stuff. So there was three things I really wanted to do that I felt like I couldn't do there. Yeah. And it was, one, pursue something in like the e-commerce space.
Yep.
Right. Because I had seen these kids, like I said, that ad making money. And I was like, dude, what? This kid's an idiot. Like, I'm way smarter. There's no way I can't do this. And then I wanted to pursue like, I would follow all these guys that had big social media followings on Instagram talking about fitness. And I'm like, dang, like, he's not posting anything better than I could post or lift better than I could, whatever it might be. So I want to do that. And then I just wanted to get into like producing music and just having fun with that. Cool. And so that's kind of like, those three things were kind of like my vision, I guess, of what I wanted to do. And so I went there and I started working out at Ben's gym, and I ended up working for free for him for like maybe 6 or 8 weeks. And then he offered me a job, so that became like my main, like, pay the bills. I quit doing all the other.
So you were just doing stuff around the gym?
Yeah. Like he was training a football team and I would help out for free with that. I would work weekend mornings for free for like 6 weeks. And then he's like, dude, everybody loves you. You know what you're talking about, et cetera. Do you want to, we want to keep growing. Do you want to work full time? And at that point, I had like 2 real jobs out that were just odd jobs. Before that, I worked in a telemarketing center for like 2 weeks before I quit. Yeah. And then I was a delivery driver at this Italian restaurant.
Okay.
So I was like, 100%. I would much rather do that.
Yeah.
So then I'm doing that. And then all my free time I realized that to do e-commerce, you kind of have to be financially stable.
For sure.
Right. And I wasn't. I was a broke college dropout at this point. And so, but then through me reading about it and meeting reading these social media accounts, who now it's so funny because I'm like friends with all of them.
Yeah.
But like reading this stuff online and people are talking about what they're doing. And I realized like, rather than selling tangible products, I can sell services because it doesn't cost me anything.
Right.
And so then I kind of like went down that whole rabbit hole and started closing some deals left and right to run like Facebook ads, write emails for people, like got into the service-based side of digital entrepreneurship. And so started making some money there. And then I can keep going throughout this like timeline if it's helpful.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of want to get into wherever your Twitter, because obviously your Twitter, I mean, it's up around almost 25,000 now. And I know you have, had a tweet that really blew up and you kind of capitalized on that, building quite a little, niche community for yourself. So wherever that fits in, work that into your story, because that's something I really wanted to touch on.